think is super valuable and something that we need to embrace. And I was speaking to a school owner the other day who hasn't even begun virtual, and we're 5 months into this. So the whole debate of whether teaching martial arts live versus virtual, um, it's not even a debate. It's something you got to table that, right? What we need to understand, what is our purpose, is making a difference in people's lives. And if the medium we had to work with was live and that was taken away from you, would you still figure out a way to teach somebody? Absolutely. So because we had such strong systems in place and our team executes like a fine oiled machine, literally, we just moved from this platform of live into this platform, which is virtual. So I'm really, really proud of that. And currently we're running 550 students virtually. We're running about 50 students in private lessons, and then another 100 in kickboxers, right around there. So we're stable. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet, but nonetheless, I'm very grateful that we had the vision to move in that direction. And if you're in the Millbrae location, you've seen it. It looks like a movie studio. I posted it yesterday. We're running 5 virtual classes at one time. So do the math. In your given school, you can't even run 5 classes at the same time. So to be able to have that type of, reach to people, I think is super powerful, and one that we take a lot of pride in. So let me thank my sponsors. I want to make sure to do that. The first one, of course, is My Studio, simply the finest CRM system for our industry. And I think what they offer me, they're kind of like the Jimi Hendrix of an app-driven CRM system. They're pushing the boundaries. They make mistakes every day, which I love. I love failing forward. And so to have them as one of our sponsors is just a given. Market Muscles, Stephen Reinstein and the gang, Ginny, everybody out there producing the best in websites, not only for our industry, but for any industry. I think his stuff is cutting edge. And when we have powwows at 4 a.m. in the morning, my time, it lets me know that boy's always creating. And of course, Kids Love Life Skills, the finest in character development. Super cool. I think the one thing that is separating us with virtual online is the fact that we promote it as life skills education with martial arts. And that's the huge difference, because if I just want a fitness, I can get Class Pass or whatever for $10 a month. I mean, it's a no-brainer. If you're going to charge premium dollar, you have to give that value. And the fact that everything's live versus pre-recorded is how we're getting the same tuition we got with live classes. We are now getting that virtually. Cool. And then last but not least, LC Accounting. The thing I dig about them is their ability to freely give us information, whether it's from Profit First on how to set up our business better, all the way to the PPP, the EIDL, and everything else going on. They're always right on the tip of that. And I'm very proud to have them as one of the sponsors as well. Cool. All right. So let me move this slide in here, man, because this is what it's about. So Brandon T. Adams, I know nothing about him, and that's the God honest truth. And I do that on purpose because I don't want to come in with preconceived notions, but I had K1 do me a kind of a cheat sheet, because I think success leaves clues. And the fact that, and I'm going to say this young man because I'm 58, so I'm a little bit older. The fact that he's done all of this and he's nonstop, it's inspiring. I love it. I love work like this. People that create things, people that make nothing out of make something out of nothing. I think that's power. But just take a look. Started his first company in 2015, advisor for a tech company, Ship Change, and they raised $30 million. That's not an easy thing to do, but he's got that rich background with crowdfunding. And I'm a big Think and Grow Rich guy. That's a done day. That's a done day. I think that's book by Napoleon Hill is amazing. And the fact that he took that with Harrington and kind of reintroduced that to today's audience is powerful. Emmy, this guy's won an Emmy. And so I think that's pretty cool. Ambitious Adventures is one of his shows, and his current show airing at Amazon Prime is Success in the City. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a huge change for us to have somebody of this caliber joining us because he's not even in our industry. So I love that, for the simple fact, when we created our business model, which was strictly service driven, no contracts, no upgrades, no sales scripts, no office, no program directors, the companies I studied were Apple, were Zappos, books I was reading like Good to Great, Jim Collins. They're things that don't pass through our industry. So anytime I have a unique opportunity to spend time with somebody like this, I think I'm going to be better for it when I'm done. Cool. All right, let's bring them in. K1, can you do that? Oh man, look at that. There's 4 of us. Dun, dun. Is his mic up, sir?
Yeah.
Good. Hey, Brannon, you there, sir?
I'm here. How you doing?
Cool. Cool. Let's see. K1's trying to split screen us. Can you do that, K1? There you go. All right, we're dialed in. So you kind of got about a little bit where we're at as an industry. Give us some love.
Yeah. I guess about me.
You can begin anywhere you want, sir.
Yeah, no. So thank you, by the way. Mention all those things. It takes me down memory lane, all the different projects I've been a part of. And I think the one thing I'll start with is creating something from nothing. Like taking something and whatever it is you're doing, whether it's a business, a TV show, a book, martial art, whatever you're doing, starting from scratch and just creating something and going after the endeavor. Because as you know, when you start something from nothing, there's so many unknowns. Like the obstacles you go through and the things you have to do to create something, it's insane, but you learn so much about yourself. So looking back in my career, I'm from Iowa, a small town of 700 people, Garnerville, Iowa. Sure you never heard of it. Nobody really has, besides the people in it. I grew up in an ice business. So my dad sold packaged ice for a living. And so I got to see what it was like as a young entrepreneur, to see what it's like to run a business. And so going through that, I learned a lot. I learned people skills, communication, relationships. And I started creating my own things. In that process of being in that business, one day I came up with this idea for an invention. It's called Arctic Stick, to create a product that would cool and flavor bottled beverages. And there's a reason I share this, because it literally leads into how I got into doing TV shows, invention to TV shows. It's such a drastic change. So I had this idea, I pursued it. And usually you pursue an idea you've never done before. There's so many different obstacles along the way. I had to figure out patenting, trademarks. I had to figure out how to develop this product. Well, after about 3.5 years and $100,000 of my own money, I got the product to market. But along the way, it led me to other things. It led me to this thing called crowdfunding. You had mentioned at the beginning about my crowdfunding background. And so I got into the space because Arctic Stick, on my last leg of funding, I did a crowdfunding campaign. And then when I did the crowdfunding campaign, I realized how hard it was to raise money. It's very difficult. And so I learned from that experience, and that experience led me to realizing there's an opportunity to help other people raise money. So I took that experience from that invention idea, and I went to go create a company that helped people raise money. So I did this. And one of the key components to raising money is a video, is creating a video that inspires people, that empowers them, that gets a product idea across. It says, here's what it is, here's why you should care about it, and here's how you can get involved, which in that case, give them money. So I started doing the videos for these campaigns. And so what I realized along the way is I enjoyed being in front of the camera. I enjoyed sharing people's stories. And I enjoyed what a legit video or documentary or TV show could do for inspiring and empowering other people, but also calling them to action. We've used videos to raise money, to launch companies, to empower people, to share stories. And so that's when I got into this whole TV space. And that's when I started creating my own endeavors through the power of video. And along the way, as TV production is not cheap, I was using my crowdfunding background to internally raise money through sponsors, for people to get involved. And that led me to the TV space and to where I am today.
Super cool. I think that the big thing I want to share, my big takeaway, is that we haven't even discussed making money yet.
Yeah.
I think really, because when you start creating something from nothing, I'm sure you'll agree, it's purely a passion project. Right? You have this dream, you have this vision, you have this belief, and you go after it. And that's what I love about startups. People will work 24 hours a day, 365, they work for nothing, until this thing goes public. And I think that's type of inertia, something we need to carry once we do start monetizing it and moving that forward. So how'd you shift from this creative love, from loving to be on camera, loving to impact people, to monetizing it? What was the shift? What nuts and bolts did you need to move from this nothing to this, purpose-filled project to monetizing it?
Yeah, it's probably one of the most difficult things to be able to monetize. And I'm still working to figure it out in different ways. I've utilized it in a very unique way. So I'll give you an example. So creating a show, just kind of give you the background. For most people in, let's say, Hollywood, or the traditional way for doing a TV show, a documentary, or let's say a major movie, what they do is they go to a network, they will pitch a network, and they'll say, here's a concept of our show, here's what we're doing, and would you like to have this released and be partners with us and purchase, let's say, 12 episodes of our show? If they agree to it, let's say Netflix, what will happen is Netflix will say, we'll buy 8 episodes, we'll pay you $250,000 an episode, you go create it. So that's how it traditionally happens in the industry. That way is a way I've never done. I've done it my own way, because what happens is when you take money from somebody like a network, there's a couple things that happen. One, they want to have control in the whole process, which I get. They want to make sure the sponsors and all these different things are in there because they got to make money from it. But two, they control things. So you don't get as much say in how the storyline will go. It has to be more in terms of what they want. For me, I wanted the freedom to create a show that wasn't just another like reality show. I wanted a show that really showed the stories of some powerful people around the country and show their story in a way that would impact other people. And so when we went to go do this, I went out and I brought a dream team together. I'm all about having a dream team and the people you surround yourself with. I got that from Think and Go Rich. So I went to my mentors. I went to my connections. I went to Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, Jeff Hoffman of Priceline.com. They were friends of mine that I already had and said, hey, will you be our executive producers? Kind of like our team and mentors along the way. They said yes. I went to my director today. He had filmed with me in a past show. He's really good. He's won 13 Emmys. I said, hey, will you take lead? Will you be the director? He said yes. And then my wife and I were the co-hosts. And so we had the dream team. So with having the dream team and the names, it made it easier for us to get sponsors, because it's not just some kid from Iowa that's starting to go create a show. It's, hey, we have this thing. We have these people involved. And people look at that, and that will ultimately, in some cases, be the determiner if they're going to put money into your business or not. Right. So what I did is I utilized the brand and the names to get sponsors. And so that was what self-funded part of the process. Now, I'm not making money yet, just so you know. That is going towards expenses. The other half ultimately came, I was in a position where I was funding it with my own money because I really believed in the project. Got the show out. We're in the process of releasing now. Where the money can be made in a space, whether you're a public speaker, you're a business consultant, or opportunities, where I've been able to see the fruit from the work I've put in is high-end speaking gigs. I advise 5 different companies right now where I get a retainer and stock in the company. And then also I do some limited coaching opportunities. So that's where the different opportunities come there. But also you can sell info products. You can sell things around success. And so that's how I personally have been able to monetize it. Most people, where their monetization is, I'm going to create a show, I'm going to get it picked up, and I'm going to get paid a lot of money for the content. I personally have not figured that out yet. I will, but I have not. So I think it's really unique because not many people have found out a way to do what I do and create a show in a way to get it out there and monetize it in my own unique way.
Well, I think that's important, having creative control. You know, I was with Warner Brother Records and at one point in my life, and I had no say. I had no say. They took my songs, they recorded them the way they want and how they wanted. But I get it. I didn't make any money on the album. I made money on touring. I made money on T-shirts. I made money on my appearances. But the album itself, you know, I made pennies on the album because the record label makes it all and they control that all. So I understand that. So in the position martial arts schools are in right now, here's the gig. You know, we're being shut down because we're labeled as gyms, most of us. We mainly work with kids. So during this pandemic, we've gone from, you know, running these live schools to literally having to reinvent ourselves and go virtual. And for me, it's right up my alley. I was SAG at one point, AFTRA. So I dig the whole vibe. I love it. I love being on camera. It was an easy transition. And I've always, professed that to our industry. You're a storyteller. You need to tell a story. Get out. Well, I'm not good on camera. Well, you need to learn. Get out there. I mean, freak, if Honey Boo Boo can get out there and gator people, right? Swamp people, whatever, you can do it. You can do it, right? So just get on camera and start telling your story. Develop that. So, with all your expertise of being on camera with your Emmy Award-winning show and stuff, what's the most basic things we should be doing right now to keep ourselves relevant? I think open, close is what we're dealing right now. So that's not consistent. Nobody can trust that. But I believe the virtual environment is something they can trust because we can consistently deliver there,
Yeah, great question. I'm very grateful that I was online 5 years ago. So like, this is not new to me. And I know you're used to it. I think the easiest thing people can do is can pull this thing out of their pocket and start using it. Like this right here, a phone, is so powerful. If you have a smartphone, if you have a camera on it, a video camera, and you have the apps, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, at least you have the ability to make a lot of money and get yourself out there. You don't need a full production crew. You don't need to have everything in person. So what I'd say is get out your phone and start creating regular video content and publishing on your social media. So whatever it is you do. So like in your space, you were talking earlier about the classes you have and they're virtual. What I would do is while you're in the process in the gym doing your routine, I would be showing that on camera. I would be showing the things you do and what people can learn from it. And you're giving them free advice, free content, entertainment. And then you're mentioning along the way, hey, I also have these classes that I do, which is the next level where they can pay for it. So document your journey, document your life. You may be the best at what you do, but if people don't know you, it doesn't matter. They don't know how to get to you and hire you. So what I've learned is to show people that I'm actually doing what I say I do. We live in a world on social media where they can have the pictures of the cars or, hey, I'm this expert, or there's a lot of fluff and BS out there. And I like calling that out because I'm nothing on that. Like that bothers me. And that was a big reason like doing the whole show is to really show what is success. And so I want to show people, hey, I'm doing this. So before COVID hit, every time I go on stage, I was showing on my stories, I'm on stage in front of all these people. When I'm doing business deals, I'm showing the people I'm in a business deal with. I'm giving them my best stuff, my advice, my content. So they know I'm the real deal. I'm not just some guy that's talking about it. They actually seeing is believing. And then when you do that and you show them a little combination of your business expertise and advice and then your personal life, because ultimately people buy from people.
Right.
It's actually proven like when people can actually see your face, see your eyes and your body gesture and your expression, they're more likely to like you and trust you. So when you're showing these videos online, you're showing your personal life, your business life, and then you're having every once in a while a call to action. That's what leads to sales in your business. But you got to be consistent with it. You have to make it a part of a routine. And I know for some people, I mean, social media, it gets overwhelming for all people. Hey, I'm there. I get it. But it is also the way to play the game for having a business and having success online. So I play the game. I make it fun. I have fun with it. I create a lot of videos. But I would say anybody right now, go to virtual by sharing your journey on what you do on social media, adding value, and then having some kind of virtual offer, whether it's like the Zoom group workout. Like my wife's a personal trainer. She's done group workouts through Zoom. People pay for that. She's done all these different things, train people through Zoom. There's so much opportunity. You just got to think outside the box like you're doing right now.
Well, I think I learned early on, I'm a third generation small business owner. There is no box. There is no box. And I think that's the problem. People look at the limits and then they step outside the box, right? But if there is no box, there is no limits.
Yeah.
Because they step outside the box, they go, great, I'm outside the box. That's cool. But if there is no box, then now there's this infinite space, this palette, that we work with and that we create from. So what are don'ts? Because I mean, I believe your digital impression doesn't go away. What about that guy on The Flash recently? That character on The Flash posted something when he was 12. right? That was very racist. They just fired him from The Flash, and he was one of the lead characters. So what are your 3 don'ts? Give me 3 top don'ts. You tell everyone, don't do that.
Yeah, so I believe in freedom of speech. I think everybody should share what their beliefs are, what they believe in. But I also know that if you're going to share things political on social media, it will have a negative effect on you in ways. It will. I mean, I learned from experience 4 years ago. I did it, and I lost like 1,000 followers in a day at that time, and I had hate and everything. And it was me just sharing what I believed in. I've learned to not speak publicly about political things. So I think everybody, no matter what you do, just be conscious, because you don't want to, there's a lot of people out there that may not work with you just by sharing, hey, I vote for this person or I vote for that. I think that's the number one thing. And I see people right now through this pandemic and everything happening, they're actually crushing themselves on social media. Like, they're saying things on social media that will ruin them.
Yes,
and
sir.
they're letting don't let your emotions get involved, because that's what's happened. Like, they're letting their emotions get involved, and they're saying one thing. Like, I saw one video this girl put on TikTok, and it was like something you should never say. And within 12 hours, she lost her job. And so, like, watch what you say, because people are watching. Like, so many people can do that. So that's the first thing. Don't say anything political unless you're ready for the backlash on it. So watch in terms of that sense. And then the other thing is, I guess that's my main one. Just don't say stuff like that, because I'm all about being real and be authentic. And I think we all should do that and share our values and beliefs. But when you, right now, the world we're living in, if you start going one way or the other, whether you're saying, hey, mask, no mask, Republican, Democrat, or whatever it is you do, you are going to have a backlash. That's just a fact.
I agree. And Elvis Presley said that really well. A lot of people don't even remember Elvis, but he was in an interview and someone asked him something political. He says, hey, man, I'm an entertainer. Don't ask me that question. So I think that's important, because I have my own political beliefs and stuff, but some things I keep for myself. And people say, well, as quote unquote, as a leader in the martial arts industry, what side of the fence are you on? And I said, I'm just in this moment, man. I just want to make a difference in people's lives. And you're right. So there's always a spin to go with that. But I agree with that. Politics, religion. Yeah, that's happening so much right now in our industry, because school owners are frustrated. They can't get their schools open, then they're open, then they get shut down, then they're open. So they're going at this politically all over. And I try to share with them, I don't suggest that. I don't think it helps your cause right now, because you might have that parent in your school that's red and you're singing blue, and that may not be a good day. Right. So sometimes I think that's important. And you know who was masters of that, even though they were right in the middle of it? Martin Luther King, Gandhi, somebody like a Nelson Mandela. Even though they had a political stance, they always had this sense of neutrality, of acceptance of everybody. And they never really attacked people so much as they professed, their belief system. As you're saying, beliefs and values, I think, go a lot more, because it creates that emotional connection that you're talking about, right? Right. The minute we go politics or religion, boom, boom, these walls come up, the guns come out, and everyone's like, what? I got to defend my border. But you're right. I mean, I see that. That's why I have that imagery so clear, because you and I share that. I feel very passionate about that. People need to be connected. Even if it's virtually, we need to connect with people more today than ever. So what else? That's number one. Anything else?
Yeah, I was trying to think. I mean, that's really my biggest don't. Like, I would say, if you want to get technical for things, when you're creating content, upload it right to the platform. Don't do any kind of shares of articles, or share, like, let's say you share a video you did on YouTube and share it to your social media. It doesn't, they're competitors. Like, it's not going to get any views. So create the video. Give me a quick example. So, like, I create a video a day. And so usually I'll do sometimes less than 60 seconds, because when you do it less than 60 seconds, you can upload to Facebook, you can upload to LinkedIn, I can upload to a post on Instagram. I do the same thing. I repurpose the same content. I create it, you go horizontal when you're creating the content. So it's widescreen. I'll create the video. As soon as I get done, I go into my phone. I don't have to go on a desktop. I'll upload it to Facebook, write my text, copy the text, post on Facebook, go to LinkedIn, upload to LinkedIn, add some hashtags, post it to LinkedIn, go to Instagram, do the same thing. I just hit 3 platforms there in a matter of literally 7 minutes.
But don't we want to do vertical on Instagram? Or that doesn't matter?
That's if you're doing over 60 seconds. So that's IGTV. So there's a whole nother step there. So like, for example, when you do a Facebook Live, your vertical, you can create your live. I'll do this too. I'll do a Facebook Live. Let's say I talk for 6 minutes. Before I post to my page, I'll download the video. I'll post the video. I'll go to my Instagram and I'll upload to IGTV, because IGTV is 60 seconds or more.
Right.
So then I'll upload it there and post it there. So just 2 little tweaks in the format. I guess just keep it simple when you're putting out your content. And I guess one mistake people make is they care too much about what people think. They fear what people will think of how they look on camera or what they say, and they fear the backlash. I'll tell you, no matter what, as you know, Brannon, you're going to get backlash when you stand for something. And so it's one thing to do politics, but it's another thing. If you're standing for something that's good, you really believe in your heart it's good, and it's just putting out good in the world, you put that out there. No matter what, you're going to get hate.
Yep.
You're going to get love. You're going to get hate. But we tend, as humans, we tend to focus towards the negative. I could have 100 comments that are amazing. I could have that one comment that's a Karen or somebody that's really like not having a good day and they want to attack me. Why is it that we focus towards that one comment? It's just how we are as humans.
Human nature.
So I tell people, just know either way, you're going to have that, and you need to let go of what people think of you. If you this is one thing about success I've learned. So many people care what others think about them and the decisions that they make. If you truly just want to be happy, do what you love, what you believe in. If it's really doing good to the world, as long as it's doing good, and stick with that. Don't live somebody else's life. So many people are living somebody else's life, whether their parents want them to live that life, their friends. Live your own life, specifically through your social media.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge advocate of that. You're just preaching to the choir. You know, I sing my own song in this industry, and we've really carved a path in the past, probably really heavily in the past 3 years. You know, I wear the shirt and tie and go, you know, that picture, the classic speaker picture, you know, with the shirt and tie and your hands clasped like this. That's never been me. I mean, I've done, you know, I did a thing at Facebook. I've done Stanford Healthcare. I've spoken at Harvard. I was at a big event in Korea, and these guys are in shirt and ties. I walk in, I always wear a brand new pair of black Converse, which I give away to somebody that fits my shoe, because I always wore hand-me-downs growing up. And I walk in, I'm black. I wear black. That's all I do.
That's exactly what I wear every day.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, K1, where'd you get
years in?
black? Yeah, well, you know, we didn't invent it. I think it's a Johnny Cash did, right? Johnny Cash.
Cash. So a couple very significant people. I mean, the reason why I do it, I'm sure for you, for me, it's I don't want to think about what I have to wear. That's wasting my damn brain power.
Yeah.
I have 20 black shirts in my closet. Yeah. I have 15 black pairs of jeans.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I switch them out for new ones.
Yeah. I mean, but Einstein was that way. Remember, Einstein had 21 sets of the same clothes. You know, I have no fashion sense. My wife will tell you that. So as long as I know it's black, anything I put on is going to match. So it's no problem. Yeah, I've always been that way, though. You know, I just don't like to think about clothes because, you know, when I heard that saying, you know, Brandon, that clothes makes the man, that's really shallow. That's a bad day, because then you got, you know, the woven sheep's clothing. So I'm very mindful that if someone's going to judge me by the clothes I wear and formulate an opinion about me, I don't want to be a slave to fashion. And people will trend that way. You know that. They'll buy the latest this, buy the latest that, because that's how they create their identity. And they never do, because when the trend dies, so do they. So
it's going back to caring what people think. That's like the same thing. It's caring too much about what people think.
Oh, yeah. I get crap all the time for my black beanie. You know, you're a martial arts guy. You shouldn't do that. You know, I don't do it when I'm teaching a class, but, you know, it's just but I do. And it all started with one night it was cold and I had to do a show outside in the backyard, and all I had was a camping lantern. And so I'm out there and all you see is this head. So for a while it was this floating head thing with a completely black background, and it tripped people out. And, of course you got to change it up, but the beanie's always stayed. I mean, I wear it all the time. It's just who I am. Keeps my head warm, and it's a good day. So I feel you, man. So what else? Be authentic, be real, stay away from politics, film a lot. Gary Vee says that. Keep putting out content. I'm a big Gary Vee.
So how I look at it, this has been my own personal way. I mean, as a TV producer and host, I have a little different perspective, but I think we all have our own ability to be our own reality TV show person.
Yes.
I mean, we're living it every day on social media. So for me, when I wake up and look at my day, I want to create an entertaining and fun and educational and valuable experience for my audience. So I'll give you an example last night. So last night we released a premiere of our show. We did a pre-panel, and then we released the episode. I felt amazing. Very rarely do I go out and drink. I went with my wife, and I had a couple old fashions. That was like my celebration. And so I showed we're cheersing. We saw a couple that needed somebody to take a picture. I went and I got a photo for them and everything. And I got that on camera. Like, I was showing my experience and having fun with it. So I think if you realize, like, hey, if you told yourself as a person with a phone, I'm a TV producer, I'm creating my own reality show. Today, what is my show going to be? And I'm going to entertain my audience. I'm going to add value to them as me as who I am today. So I'm a business consultant, speaker, whatever it is. So I'm going to go out in my day. I'm going to show them inside my day. And along the way, I'm going to provide them some very valuable tips that will help them as a human, add value to them, but also let them know, hey, this is who I am and what I do. And do that throughout your day. And you're creating this real experience. And you are connecting with your audience. And this is what happens. Your viewers feel so connected with you. Heck, they'll probably be dreaming about you. They'll be thinking about you. They'll be on top of mind. And they'll remember you. And when they do, what happens is they may not need you now for your services,
right?
But they will in the future. They might not ever hire you, but they may tell their friend about you. I can't tell you how many business deals I've landed, very substantial business deals, from literally somebody watching my stories, watching my videos. And I'm not a YouTube star. I don't have millions of followers yet. I have 50, 60,000 maybe between my platforms. But you just need 1,000 loyal fans to build a substantial business. And so that's what I would say. Every day when you wake up, what kind of reality show are you going to produce? What's the value you're going to provide to your followers and fans and friends? And just create that and be real with it.
Well, I think that the key word was the loyal followers. Yeah. I think it's sad in our culture when some teenager will not leave the house unless they get at least 300 likes on their Instagram post. That's scary. I mean, the flip side of that's really scary, that my whole identity for young people has to be that. My daughter watches YouTube, and I look at these people and I'm going, really? That's it? I'm going to ride a Ferris wheel until I throw up. Okay. That's entertainment. So, I mean, the long and short from a Honey Boo Boo to, something like Across the Plains of Africa, we're seeing you're right. People need so much now that the range of what captures their attention, which is very short. The average human has a shorter attention span than the goldfish. Yeah. It's so unpredictable that you're right. You can't try to catch trends or catch that trend or catch that trend. I think I agree with you. It's really about singing your song and singing it where you create that emotional connection. You said those memorable experiences. Isn't that what Disney's all about? Disney's about creating a memorable experience that people want to replicate again and again and again and again. So I think I agree with you. When that viewer connects with you, they get on not to see not only what you're doing, because they just want to be connected to you. So I feel that a lot too. I don't have a huge following yet either. Just, I don't know, what about 15,000 between all our platforms? Yeah, 15 to 20. Not a lot, but the people that I do have, I know on a first name basis. I mean, literally. But I think what freaks me out though is when someone comes out after a year and so and says, "I've watched everything on you for the past year, but you've never said hello, you've never connected." And
Isn't that crazy? I still think it's like, and you meet them in person, and they basically say everything you've been doing, like your best friends. You're like, have I met you?
Yeah. Well, we put ourselves out there, and I mean that's the trade-off in social media. And I think, but stay in your wheelhouse, school owners. I think at the minimum you do want to share that, and I think that's been a big success for us over the past 5 months. Brandon, I'm not afraid to get up there and say, "Hey, man, we had to lay off 30 employees today." My accountant said it was smart business. They'll make more on unemployment than they will with us. But the 10 core people I got, one of my guys just bought a house today. I mean, you can't be afraid to be vulnerable and be real, because I think I agree with you, sir. Everyone's got, I've got the diva ring and the mic, but that's just, I think, sight and sound. It's important, but what you see is what you get. And you're right.
Yeah.
People can perpetrate a fraud and fabricate this whole image on social media. They're running through the garage with all the Lamborghinis and the Bentleys, and they own none of them. Yeah, I had a young kid hit me up, and I said, "Well, you're a life coach, and you're 20 years old." "Well, I took a course." Yeah, but when's the last time you had somebody die on you? When's the last time you had to suffer? Right? You don't take a year course and suddenly it's like plugging into the Matrix. I know Kung Fu, right? Life isn't that way. And so you're right. I think being authentic and transparent really cuts like a knife.
It's experiences. I like that. You say 20 years old, like experience death, experience hardship, obstacles. I mean, failures. I mean, I tell people, like, are you an entrepreneur? Go lose $100,000. Heck, go lose $1 million. And then tell me you're an entrepreneur, because those are the people that experience hardship. Like, even I look at people in my career, I've faced bankruptcy before, like facing that and not going into it, but like fighting it. Like, that's probably one of the most mental fucks you could ever have.
Yep.
And so going through that makes you a warrior. But you have these people that have never experienced that kind of hardship. How can I listen to them? Because they don't know what it's like to actually go after something big, because they've never experienced that.
Well, I think that's the difference is, learning is not knowledge. Knowledge is what we obtain through application and experience. So you read a book, somebody reads Good to Great, all of a sudden they know everything. No. Living that, you're right. I was bankrupt at 25, and I was a young kid. I was stupid. I didn't know anything about money. And when I started this business, I was 38, coming off a record deal. And I was 38, living in my sister's house, $500 a month rent. I was teaching at 5 different health clubs before I pulled out together. Now we do over $2 million a year. But you're right. Rocky said it so well. It's not about how hard you hit somebody. It's about how hard you get hit and you keep moving forward. And that's really where that grit comes from, that I think tells a compelling story that everybody wants to get aboard.
It's a story that people can relate with. And so that's another tip, is tell your story. Like, I share, like we came out, we got our book, The Road to Success. My wife and I, right there. My wife and I wrote this book, and we shared our journey filming the show. And so we go deep into how during the process, like, we almost lost everything. Like, I had everything going well. I go to pursue this show, and everybody's like, "Oh, you got to show you're successful." Going out through buying a business partner out. Just came off an event that I lost a lot of money. I almost lost it all. And then all of a sudden, like, I got through that obstacle. But in our book, we share the realness. For me, I think my thing is I want to share actually what it takes, because so many people, hey, success, I got it. Well, I want to tell you exactly the little details I had to do, what my mind went through when I thought I was crazy, when my banker was knocking on my door, or like when people wanted to sue me or any of that. Like, I want to share that. As you know, Brennan, you've been through it. Like, I think if we share more of that, people will realize what it really takes, versus you see a lot of these people, like, and I'm not saying that, like, I like the Gary V's. You look at the Grant Cardones, or people, like, they've done their own success in their own way.
Yep.
These guys are in their 40s, their 60s. Like, they went through so much hardship. And the people that are my age, or 5 or 6 years younger, in their 20s, they're mad because they can't be Gary Vee overnight.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, you got to go through the years.
Well, it's that sense of entitlement. Yeah, we know that. It's that sense of entitlement, you know,
Yeah.
and that's unfortunately what our country has done. I mean, it's I've lived in other countries and it's perpetuated here, right?
Yeah.
That sense of entitlement. But really, I think it is. I was discussing that yesterday. How, you know, we love the underdog. We love that when it's 2 outs, right, bottom of the ninth, and this guy gets that home run. I mean, that's more satisfying and more gratifying than the leadoff homer in the first inning. Right?
Yeah.
It just has that je ne sais quoi. It has that thing, and we're going through that right now. I mean, I see schools closing left and right. There are people hanging on by threads. You know, we're pivoting. I feel like a smoke and mirrors act right now, reinventing ourselves every day. Right now, we're moving classes to the park because they're shutting us down. Right, so we have to move classes to the park, and you know, we're moving. We're gonna. It's a constant, and I welcome it. See, that's just it. I mean, my papa taught me that. My grandmother owned restaurants. My dad's owned his own martial arts school for 50 years. This is what we do. We are small business owners. And you're right. One day you have money, next day you don't. But I think the sad part about that whole thing is that doesn't determine who you are. That's just part of the game, right? You make a lot of money, then some days you put it in a project and you blow it. That's given. I've invested money in startups where I don't think I'm ever going to make money off that startup now, 5 years into the project, but that's just what comes with it. And I think what's sad about our culture is they determine financial wealth strictly as success, you know, and that's easy. It's easy to be great when things are going your way. Like the Dalai Lama says, be great when things are hard. That's what builds character. Right. And that's really it, because you know it. When you round third base, man, and you slide into home, you go, okay, we did it. We did it. That's so much more satisfying. So
You can learn a lot about somebody. You can learn a lot about somebody when they are hitting their darkest time. You'll see their true character come out.
Well, we've witnessed that over the past 5 months, good and bad.
Sadly, we are seeing that.
You know, good and bad. And hopefully we can be the light in the darkness. Hopefully we can be that thing, you know, so people don't give up. I say it all the time. Some days I feel helpless, but I never feel hopeless, you know, and I think that's real important. So what do you want to take us out with, man? This has been cool conversation. What do you want to take us out with?
Yeah, it is fun. I think I would say to people is life is what you make it. You know, you think about success. So many people have their own, like, they look at what success is online or social media. I think the question for everybody they should be asking themselves is, what is success to me? Yeah. Like, what is your own version of success? Once you figure what that is, and it could be making money in business, it could be becoming a TV show star, or maybe you want to become the best mother that has 3 or 4 kids and they go to college. Like, what is your success? Once you figure that out, you can put your time, money, and resources into that, but also surround yourself with the right people to help you achieve that. I think a lot of people get stuck in having bad relationships, people around them that are negative, and sometimes it's hard to let certain people go to open up doors for other people. So surround yourself with the right people and spending time with the people that really matter to you. And then I think a key contribution or key part to success is giving back. Whether doing a show like this and helping people, investing the time and resources to put these shows out, giving money, donating, doing something that gives back. Because at the end of the day, I found out, and literally the hundreds of people I've interviewed found out, is the people that are really successful, one key thing to their happiness and success is contribution. Yes. Whether they made a large donation or they donated their time towards a cause. I think that's what makes people happy. That's what makes me happy. So those are just kind of thoughts. I mean,
we know that. I mean, we know that, Brandon. Service is it, right? Gandhi sings that song. Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa. And I mean, we're not on that level, but I mean, just to be a giver. Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge giver. I mean, that's just what I do. With that I do. I help people all over the world. And I'm for the hoi polloi. I'm for the common man. I like the underdog. I love the underdog, because when they make it, it's so much sweeter than somebody that's given $1 million as a kid and, you know, daddy cleans the mess every time they make a mistake. I mean, I love being the underdog. And I have been, you know, most of my life in this industry, because, you know, our industry is built around contracts, upgrades, you know, things of that nature. And we do none of that in our schools. No contracts, month-to-month subscriptions, no upgrades, nothing. And so I get a lot of slack from the people in our industry, but yet we have some of the highest grossing numbers per square foot than any martial arts school. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that because I do sing my own song.
I like that. I like that model.
Yeah, I mean, service is such a good thing. It's such a good thing, and being able to bring valuable philosophies from Apple and into an Alphabet and Zappos, and we're here in Silicon Valley, so I've been on the Facebook campus, I've been on the YouTube campus, and it's an extension of their culture and living that purpose and that why. This is very cool. So I'd love to invite you to our Disruptor page. Kay, I want to hit you up. Post anything you want, sir. Your books, anything that you need. I think people need to hear more of this, that success is not always about success. Success is about what you do with failure. Success is about being authentic. It's about being real and knowing that this too shall pass. This isn't the first war we've been in, right? And it's not the last. I tell people I went through the .com when I started my business. I went through 9/11. I went through 3 people dying in the past, years. We went through the mortgage crisis. We'll get through this because data shows we have. How we choose to get through this, right? So what would you say to that? What would you say to that?
Yeah, I guess I will say it's a quote by Napoleon Hill. Our brightest days are beyond our darkest moments. And so we're just going through a somewhat dark moment. I find the light in the darkness, but I'll tell you, no great thing is going to happen overnight. And like what's happening now, I know it's going to become even greater. When this is all done, things are going to thrive again. We're going to be in even better places. I also look at crises and low ops, like all these things that happen to us happen for us. Yeah. I think it's happening for us. If you look at life that way, it'll make you a lot happier. It'll give you a totally different perspective instead of you focused on death and darkness. Hey, this is happening for me. What can I learn and how can I get better?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I live by that. Well, we're going to have you on again anytime, sir. If you need me, reach out.
Thank you, man. Had fun.
Yeah, we bounce off each other really well. And
I like we're both wearing the black thing.
Yeah, I got to get you a beanie though. I got to get you a beanie. Brannon, right?
When I come visit San Francisco, you can give me one.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I love this city, and I'd love to show it to you. So thank you, everybody. We'll post your website and all that stuff. You got that stuff, K1? Yeah, make sure we post all that up. And I just want to thank you for your time, for being a giver and offering to that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it. Have a good day. So there you go, folks. You just can feel it. It's just real, right? I mean, you could choose to wake up and be a bad mood and be pissed off and run it all of social media and go about it politically, or you really can cultivate that mindset. I've been called the master of the mindset. It's huge for me. I love cultivating that mindset because it's a choice. And I wake up every day and I can't change there's a pandemic. I can't change that they're closing Millbrae again and shutting us down. I can't change that San Francisco has not been open till this day and we're 5.5 months into this thing. What I can only be responsible for is my mindset. And from that mindset, I can cultivate richness. From that mindset, I can cultivate acceptance right now, right? I have to accept life on life's terms. Life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And right now we're getting deep into this, right? Deep. And it falls around the corner. They say the second wave is going to be worse. You can't get much worse than this. Well, maybe it doesn't happen to me like Brandon's saying. Maybe it happens for me, right? This unique opportunity. And I believe that. I really, really do. So let's thank our sponsors for a second. We got a few minutes for questions. You guys got questions, put them in there. What are we giving away if you share to win? Did everybody share this? Everybody share this? Make sure you did that because we're giving away 1 ticket to Sunday's seminar, how we've gotten to 550 online students. We're going to go through the equipment that you need because that's important. I believe in sight and sound. Right now I have a Diva ring. I've got a Yeti mic, real basic stuff, right? Clean background. Why? Because I'm wearing black. I'm not going to set myself up against black. So this contrast, all this is by design. People identify Brannon Beliso with this, the white background. You'll see most of my pictures are black and white when I'm promoting my own stuff. That's my brand, right? So equipment, I think, is really important. Second, how to market your online virtual classes. We'll discuss that as well. And then lastly, how to teach. Do not think that teaching live is the same as teaching virtually. Two completely different mediums, completely different platforms, and we're going to get into that. It's 3 hours. Some people said they can't be there. That's cool. You can watch it again and again and again and again. But if you're there, those magic moments of being there in the moment, you get these nuggets that you just don't get when you watch it. So that's why I love that live audience, because we interact and it's powerful. So much magic comes out of that I welcome. And that's why I encourage people to carve that time out on Sunday, August 2nd from 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 1 and be there. Because that might be the aha moment. That might be that one nugget you need to get you over this pandemic, to get you over this hump. Cool, cool, cool. So make sure that you share that. And you know, it is dun, 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 how to get to 550 students online. Right? And if it wasn't for my sponsors, my studio, the app, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting, we wouldn't even have this show. Right? So thank you for them as well, because they don't tell me what to do. They don't censor me. You know, that's one of my conditions. You sponsor me, you don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to say. And like Brannon was saying, that once you turn it over to a production company, they're going to have say. They're going to want you to act a certain way, talk a certain way. And you know me, that's just not the way I've ever done. So what are your questions? Did everybody share this? I noticed we got a lot of people sitting there, but I didn't see a lot of people put their name in today. Were things just going on too fast? So go ahead and type in there. If you're there, say hello. I see Adam, Jason Sampson. What's happening, everybody? I see a lot of people up in the corner. Stay with us. Tell us who you are. Stand up and be counted, right? Stand up and be counted. And we're doing that. But I think what I need to be mindful of when I am posting content is why, right? Why am I posting this content? And if you look at someone like Dr. Pimple Popper, she just has such a love for cysts and zits, and she does, right? Oh, look at the baby I just popped out of you. She's just like in love with her work. And I think that's a trip. Hey, Wade, what's happening? That's such a trip, right? She's like taking this big watermelon-sized cyst off somebody's back, and she's calling it a baby. Oh, look at this baby I just gave birth. And she doesn't want to get it out in pieces. She wants to get this thing out in one big rock. And you just look at her, and that's what I'm more fascinated by, because fundamentally it's gross, right? It's gross. To me, I'm going, why would this person leave this on their body until it's the size of a freaking watermelon, right? I think the minute it was the size of a lemon, I'd have to be going to the doctor like yesterday, right? But see, that's what he's talking about. If you watch it, she's got this very unique thing about her. She loves her work. She loves what it does for people. And her connection, the way she connects with her patients, is really magic. So when you get on that camera, I'm not asking you to do a song and dance. What I'm encouraging you to do is connect. Be real. Don't be afraid to say you're afraid, right? These are challenging times. It's okay to be afraid, because you know what? Everybody else is afraid. So it's okay to say that, right? And to be with people and to commune that way and to know that, right? I've got a good slide that says love, block, delete. Not everyone's going to like your message. Not everyone's going to like what you do. Someone's going to criticize your front kick. They're going to rip on the, whatever you have displayed on the wall. They're going to go on and on. Why? Because haters are haters. And misery loves company. So if they can tear you down, they're going to tear you down. I'm so much better at it, but some days it gets to me, because there's a lot of people who don't like what I do. There's a lot of people who think I'm a fraud, I'm a fake. They challenge who I am, and that's okay. Because then I just go love, block, delete. And it's that simple. But, the warrior in me says that. You don't pay my rent. You don't feed my kids. You don't contribute to my day. It doesn't matter what you say. So the great saying is, those who matter won't mind, and those who mind don't matter. You have to have a little bit of thick skin. Otherwise, every time you go to post, you're going to go, oh, will somebody view it or not? Will somebody like it or not? Oh, God, what's trending at TikTok? Let me do the latest dance so everybody likes me, right? And that's the challenge with social media, right? One day I made a silly dance. I was pivoting. Right? I was doing a stupid dance because I'm pivoting all the time right now with my business. And I said to my son, let's post it at TikTok. And he goes, no way, Papa. I said, why? Nobody's going to watch it. I said, it's original. Nobody's done this. Yeah, he says, no, because what you have to do at TikTok is you find the big TikToker, whoever that is, Cheerios or me or whoever's the big TikToker, and whatever dance they do, whatever song they do, you copy them. I said, oh, that's not original. So you're telling me don't be original. If you're saying if I want to get likes and views, lots of them, then I got to copy Cheerios, D'Amelio, whoever the heck's out there right now, and I got to do the dance and the song they do. You see, that's challenging for me because you're a unique, special individual. And if you want to stand out above all this noise of social media, you got to be willing to put yourself out there. You know me, you watch my videos, I got my butt hanging in the wind all the time. I'm always putting my foot in my mouth, but it's real. What you see is what you get. And that's what trips out people when they see me in person. They go, well, you're exactly the same as you are on camera, because it takes way too much energy to perpetrate a fraud. I'd rather spend all that energy making mistakes as Brannon than spend all that energy packaging and fabricating some facade of a person, right? I'm not afraid to tell everyone I was bankrupt at 25. I'm not afraid to say I was 38 living in my sister's bedroom, one of her bedrooms at $500 a month, starting a new business at 38. I'm not afraid to say that because all that makes me who I am. And you want to judge me and put me down for that? Good for you. Good for you. Love, block, delete. That's it, right? So you've got to have that going on. Otherwise, you're going to be afraid to get on social media and say what you need to say. And that's very important. That's so important, right? You can't be afraid of that. Brian, what's happening, sir? Oh, you'll miss me on Sunday? Oh, sir, I'll miss you too. But like I said, you can watch it again and again and again. Jason Swanson, what's happening? Jason Horde, Wade Taylor. Come on, who else is hanging out? What questions do you have? What questions do you have? What were your big takeaways today out of all of this? What are your big takeaways? And then we're going to give away our prize. What are your big takeaways from this? I like I said, I knew nothing really about Brandon Adams until today. And what a cool soul, right? What a good soul. What a good soul. And I'm sure I can learn a lot. I did. I learned so much today. I learned to, continue being authentic. I learned that, me, I don't talk a lot about politics or religion. I think that's important. It stood the test of time. They say don't sit there at a family dinner and talk politics or religion. Just, it's such a heated debate. So I agree with that as well. I like that he wears black, simple kinship there. I like that he's failed. Because you see the guys running through the mansions with the Lamborghinis and all the girls sitting in the hot tub, right? That's not how it begins. And how many failures along the way. Hey, that part wasn't in the video. Because they skip right to the garage with the Lamborghini. No. It starts as a thought, as a dream. And then you cultivate it. And then you fail. And then you try something again. And then you fail. And then you try something else. And you fail. Until you get it. You know how many different versions of the Lisa and this and that Steve Jobs made before he ever got to the iMac and the iPod and the iPhone? He had failed a lot before he got there. So I welcome failure, I do. Chris. Missed this morning. We'll watch it later. Oh, absolutely. Today was good. Today was a lot of fun. Wade, know your version of success and share your story. Yeah, Wade, you want a farm, sir? You should have that farm. I think you should, right? Your version of success is not mine. And I think that's the challenge with a lot that goes out there with the consultants. They want to whack you in the head and tell you this is what success is. And if you're not living this success, then you can't be part of the club. Well, make my own club then, right? Make your own club and find out what your version of success is, because you're the only one that has to live that life, right? And people trip when some big actor making $20 million a film goes, see ya, Hollywood, and walks away and goes buys a home in the middle of Utah and lives on the farm, because their version of success is different. And I think that's the biggest challenge in our culture and with social media is people spend so much time going, no, that can't be success. No, you suck, because that is so much easier. How hard is it to criticize? I don't think it requires an education. I don't think it requires any specific values or life skills. It's easy to do that, right? But to go out there and take ownership of your version of success and make those mistakes again and again and again, that takes a lot of courage, right? So know your version of success and share your story. Any other takeaways? All right, let's do this, K1. Let's give it away. All right, so I hope everybody shared this. Hey, Letitia, we're giving away 1 ticket to Sunday's seminar, which is how to get 550 students online. And if you can't make it Sunday, you can watch it again and 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 again. All my stuff you should watch again and again, right? We did those other 2 ones. God, the one on rotating curriculum, so many people have watched that and bought that. Make sure you buy it. K1 will post that. Rotating curriculum is just amazing. The one we did on rebranding. If anything, more now than ever, we are reinventing ourselves, right? So when we promote, it's not one martial arts. That's down low. It's one life skills and martial arts program. We're past classes. We're into programs, especially online. We really want to show people that this is a program of becoming a better person to live your best life. Right? Otherwise, if I want some martial arts, I'll just go watch a YouTube video. If I want fitness, I'll go watch, a fitness video. But to get what we're trying to give at premium dollar, it's a whole nother environment. Cool, cool, cool. Here we go. Adam, know what's the best way to market Zoom classes? Yep. We don't have a venue of such, but a converted garage. We don't have many students on Zoom yet, but we don't have all the footage, and we can't seem to get the footage like your Zoom promo. It takes time. I mean, the promo for after school, who's seen that? Me and K1 did that. K1 did all the editing and he bounced back, but we shot that thing in like an hour because I had a very clear story, right? The kids walk up, they get sanitized, they're doing homework, which is a big part. The virtual online learning has to happen. All that was a story that ended with me holding this new ultra low voltage fogger, which is going to disinfect the school. I think it's really about, Adam, like you said, you can just take this out. But taking this out is only part of it, right? What is my story? What is my message? What is it that I'm trying to share? And to share that, Adam, with authenticity and trusting yourself and not worrying about whether the viewer is going to like it or not, or we're not worrying about how many likes I get or not. Again, that takes incredible courage because you got to start somewhere. And I love when people do that. And I look, they're getting 10 views, 20 views, but they're not doing it. They're doing it because they need to tell their story. They need to cultivate their message, but at least it's authentic, right? They're not hopping on some bandwagon. Oh, everyone's talking about this today? Great, I'll talk about this too. Oh, now they're all talking about this? Let me be sheep being led to slaughter. Oh, everyone's talking about that. Let's go over there, right? You ever watch that? I was out in the countryside last weekend on a mini staycation, and I watched one cow walk that way, and all the other cows go with them. And then it's a trip. Then the cow, another cow goes that way, and they all stick their head and go, okay. And they all go that way. Well, guess what? Sheep are the same way. And you did not start a business. You did not choose to do what you do, so you can just be sheep being led to slaughter. Boom, boom. All right. So let's give this away. I'm on a roll. It's time to go solo, right? Okay, so who is the winner today of our virtual learning, which is this Sunday, August 2nd, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time? This, I think, is huge and timely, and why I'm dedicating myself to doing this Sunday, because, again, as they close down Millbrae, we're not the only one. I bet Texas is going to close again. Florida is going to close again. Arizona is closing. Martial arts schools have closed there, on and on. So to earn the trust and the consistency that we've been able to offer virtually is unprecedented. You can count on us broadcasting day in and day out for the past 5 months, and nobody can shut that down. Cool? So who is the winner of virtual learning? How to get to 550 online students. Today's winner is Jason Sampson. Yay, sir. All right, my sister Letitia speaks very highly of Jason Sampson. She visited him recently. Jason, you're the winner of Sunday, and I know you do BJJ, and believe me, it can be taught virtually. It can. I was working with one guy, and I said, what's the thing closest to you? I got a couch. Take that big cushion off that couch. We did a simple drill. Mount, side mount, pull that big cushion into the guard. And if you're a little kid, that simulates a person, right? It does. So everybody give Jason some love. Jason, I hope you're still there. Jason put in there, yay, I won, I'm happy. Cool. All right, so hey, success never sleeps. Success in your city. Success is something I live, eat, and drink. But I recognize success is also riddled with failure, doubt, with ideas that fail, that you have to pivot into another idea. I'm cool with all of that. Hey, Svetlana. So I'm cool with all of that because I recognize that's all part of the process. You know, like Buzz Lightyear said when he found out he was a toy and couldn't really fly, I fall with style. So I welcome failure because failure is on the other side of failure. On the other side of failure is that success, right? And failure is part of the process, not a big deal. I don't want analysis paralysis. When I'm paralyzed, I won't do anything because I'm afraid to fail. I'm okay with that. Failure is part of success. Cool. All right, so let's wrap this up. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Thank you to my sponsors, my studio, the app, Market Muscles, the best in websites, Kids Love Life Skills, simply the finest in character development for kids, and LC Accounting if you need a great bookkeeper. I'll see everybody on Sunday, all right? Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for our virtual learning, how to get to 550 students online. Cool? Until we talk again, folks, please, you go out there and you live your best life.